In this video, we want to construct simplex table without simplex citation or using the standard row operation for a given set of basic variables, or we can say that using the B inverse concept. So for this, let us consider this example. In this example, we have been given a linear programming problem with the objective function maximization. And here we want to construct the simplex table using the basic variables which are given as S1, X4, X2. And where S1 is a slack variable in the first constraint. Now, as a standard procedure, we write this LPP into standard form. So, writing the LPP into standard form and noticing that the first constraint right hand side is minus 20. So, we first multiply this by a minus sign, and hence this greater than sign will convert into less than or equal to 20. And so, we added a slack variable S1, which is mentioned here in the problem. And S2, S3 are the slack variable in the second and third constraint. Corresponding to this, we have this as the coefficient matrix, which I have denoted by capital A. These columns are A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7. So there are total 7 decision variables. Yeah, X4 is missing here, so we must need to write X4 also. So there are total 7 decision variables. Or we can say that these were the column corresponding to X1, X2, X3, X4, S1, S2 and S3. So these are the 7 columns that we have written it from the question or the constraint. Now we want to fill this table. So the first entry that I have filled here quickly is from this result, which is mentioned here, that corresponding to the basic variables, we always get an identity column, or we can say the scalars that we fill in here is the identity column. So if S1 is appearing here, then S1 will be having 1 here and all the other entries are 0. And there, so the Zj minus Cj corresponding to the basic variable are also 0. So I have put it as 0 here. Similarly, if X4 is a basic variable, then it is 1 here and other entries of the scalars are 0. And the Zj minus Cj has to be 0. If X2 appear in the basis, then in the X2 column, this position is 1 and all the other positions are 0 for the scalar quantities, and the Zj minus Cj is a 0. So that is why we say that it always corresponds to an identity column including the Zj minus Cj. Now we want to fill out the remaining entries, and we have noticed that here I have kept this as the basis which is given in the problem. So this is not standard operation. If normally we have solved this problem with the simplex iteration, we would have kept always S1, S2, S3 in the basic variables. And that's the starting of the table, and then we write directly the entries from the coefficient or the constraint in the simplex table, and we choose entering and leaving variable. But here the question demands to construct a simplex table corresponding to a given set of basic variables. So now to write the remaining entry, we are looking at the formula that I have discussed in my earlier videos. For the scalars, we calculate this is always as B inverse Aj. And Zj minus Cj is also calculated with this formula. Z is Cb into Xb, and Xb is the solution that we have written here. So this Z is the quantity here, and this value is Cb into Xb. Cb is the cost of the basic variable. So we can see from the objective function again, what is the cost of the slack variable? This is 0. Cost of X4, which is given here in the problem, that is 5. So let us write here 5. And the cost of X2 variable, this is 1 here. So we will write here 1. Now if you want to calculate the other entries, which we will find here in the S2 column, S3 column, X3 and X1, and also in XB column, we need to use these formulas which are given here. And as we can see that XB, for the calculation of XB, we need to use this formula, and this is based on B inverse. This small b is the right hand side. But let us first calculate what is capital B inverse, and for the scalar also we require B inverse, and for this formula Zj minus Cj also we require B inverse. So B, which is actually the basis matrix, or we can say B is the basis matrix corresponding to the basic variable set. What are the basic variable current? S1, X4, X2. So from the coefficient matrix which we have earlier written, identify the columns which is corresponding to S1, X4 and X2 and write them in the same order. So this implies here my B matrix is, first I have to write the column of S1. So looking from here, what is the column of S1? This is 1, 0, 0. Then the column of X4. So we can see that the column of X4 is this one. So here we have minus 4, 1, 2, and then we write the column of x2, which we can see from here. This value is 6, minus 2, minus 3. So now we got a B matrix. So once we have this B matrix, let us find its B inverse. So B inverse, either you can use the calculator or you can use the standard operation of calculating B inverse, which is 1 upon determinant of B into adjoint of B. And so from here we can find that B inverse comes out to be 1, 0, 0, 0 minus 3 minus 2, 2 to 1. Just to validate whether this is correct B inverse or not, you can multiply B into B inverse. This should correspond to an identity matrix. So you can verify that this is the correct B inverse that we have found. Now since we have B inverse, now we want to find out the scalars. So let us see again which scalars we need to find. We need to find the scalars corresponding to x1, x3, s2 and s3. So now we write the scalars corresponding to x1, and for that I am denoting it by alpha 1. This was from the formula B inverse A1. B inverse we have just calculated 1, 0, 0. 0 minus 3 minus 2, 2 to 1, and we should multiply this by A1. A1 we have to take it from the coefficient matrix that I have again written here. This is A1 column corresponding to x1. So minus 4, 3, 8. Once we multiply these two matrices, so we can see that the first entry I can show 1 with minus 4. So this is minus 4, 0 plus 3. So 0 into 3, so that is plus 0. 2 into 8, so this is 16. So the first entry that we get here is 12. And in the same way, we can keep on multiplying second row multiplied by this column. So we get the entry here is 7, and the third row multiplied by this column, we get the entry as 2. So we have the entries 12, 7 and 2. Now to calculate the Zj minus Cj corresponding to x1. So this is Z1 minus C1. From the formula, this I have written CB into B inverse A1 minus C1. C1, this is the cost of x1 variable. So now let's, CB is the cost of basic variable. We can go back and we can see in the table what is the cost of the basic variable. This is the cost of the basic variable 051. And we have already calculated now these scalars. So let me to write down these scalars that we have just calculated. This is 12, 7, 2. So now we want to calculate this position. So to calculate this position, what are we doing? We are multiplying CB column with this x1 column and subtracting the cost of the x1 decision variable. So this is the formula that we are using. CB into B inverse A1 minus C1. So now let us see that in the table. CB vector is 0, 5, 1. This is we write in the row operation. So maybe you can just write at C transpose. And then B inverse A1, which we have just calculated, that is 12, 7, 2 minus the cost of C1. You can see from the table, from the objective function, this cost is minus 4. So when we multiply this value, we get 0 into 12, that is 0, plus 5 into 7, that is 35, and then 1 into 2, that is 2, minus 4. So we get 37 minus 4, and this value is 33. So the first Z1 minus C1 is equal to 33. So this is 33, and in the similar manner, now I am going to calculate corresponding to x3, S2 and S3. So we calculated scalars corresponding to x3 with the same formula. So this one is again B inverse multiplied by A3 column. We get this one. And then we calculated Z3 minus C3 correspondingly, which comes out to be minus 38. Then we calculated alpha 6. So alpha 6 is actually the corresponding column with respect to S2, because we had in total 7 decision variable x1, x2, x3, x4, S1, S2, S3. So these were the 7 decision variable. So I'm just considering this as first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. So in this way, S2 and S3 we have calculated Z6 minus C6, that comes out to be minus 17. And corresponding to the 7th column, we have this 001, that is A7 column multiplied by B inverse. We get this entry, and correspondingly we find Z7 minus C7 equal to 11. So we calculated these entries, and I'm filling now this into this table. 11 minus 6 minus 5. S2 we have calculated minus 17, 0 minus 3 minus 2, and S3 we have calculated 11, 2, 2, 1. Now let's see what is remaining. Remaining is this XB column and this particular entry. So for this XB column, we need to multiply B inverse multiplied by right hand side, and this small b is the right hand side of the constraint. So now to calculate xb, I again need to consider b inverse multiplied by right hand side. B inverse was 1 0 0 0 minus 3 minus 2 2 to 1, and the right hand side of the constraint is 20 11 23, which is equal to, once I multiply I get 66 13 and 1. So once I've calculated xb, we can calculate z. Z is cb into xb. Cost of basic variable multiplied by the xb column. Xb we have just calculated 6 13 1, and cb vector we have just seen earlier also, it is 0 5 1. So when I now multiply 6 into 66, this is 0, 5 into 13 65 plus 1 into 1, so that is 1. So we get 66 as the value for z. Now this completes our table, and the table look as this, because we have now written 66 13 1 and the value for z here correspondingly. Now as you see that our initial given problem, that was for maximization, and we have to see always that zj minus cj, whether the zj minus cj is greater than or equal to 0 or not. So in this table you can see that all the zj minus cj are not greater than or equal to 0. There is a variable s2 which is having a negative zj minus cj. So we cannot say that this is an optimal simplex table, although the question was only to construct the simplex table. So we have constructed the simplex table without using any iteration for a given set of basic variables. So this is the simplex table, and if you want to find now the optimal solution, then we have to follow the same procedure, enter s2 and then find the corresponding leaving variable. But now in this question again that is not possible, because we see that there is an entering variable with the minus 17, but none of the scalar is valid for the leaving criteria, because for the minimum ratio rule we need to leave a scalar with the strictly positive sign. So all the scalar in this s2 column are either 0 or negative. So we'll conclude that this particular LPP have unbounded solution. And in this way you can construct any simplex table corresponding to any given set of basic variable using the formulas.